Hi, I'm Luke from Korg. Welcome to your first 5 minutes on the Volca Mix. Let's open the box. So here's what you get in the box. The Volca Mix, K350 power supply, Volca Mix manual, power cables for 3 Volcas and 3 audio cables as well. So let's grab some Volcas and get connected up. Okay, so I've got my 3 Volcas as you can see, and I've got it connected power wise, this one to the main supply, and these are then chained out to the 3 Volcas. So the next job is to connect the audio up. So I've got 2 mono channels and a stereo channel as you can see, but the cables that come included, they're stereo cables, but you can still use them on these mono channels fine. So let's get connected up. So our main audio is fed from these 2 phonos here. We've got this connected to our sound system, but you've also got the option of a headphone. So you've got a mini jack headphone output there and a pair of built-in speakers as well. So you can use those instead if you want to, and you can just turn those on and off with this switch. Okay, so let's switch it on. So we need to power up the Volca Mix first because that provides the power for the other 3 Volcas via these cables. So let's now turn these on. And then we're set up ready to go. So at the moment the mixer is in an initialized state. So all the levels are down, the mute switches are off, sender levels are down, and the high-low cut are all in the 12 o'clock position. All of my effects are turned right down, and the volume's on about 3/4, and this is your tempo control here. So let's start putting some audio through. I'm going to turn on the sequencer on my Volca keys, bring up the level, so you can start hearing it. I've also got a mute switch on every channel as well. Let's bring up channel 2, which is my Volca FM. And channel 3 and 4, which is a stereo channel, which is my Volca sample for the drum parts. Really useful control on the top of each channel here. This is the low high cut control. So what that does is it cuts out different frequencies. So if I turn it to the right, it cuts out the lows. So I'm just left with the highs. If I go to the left, it does the opposite, it cuts out the highs and it boosts the lows. And you can see here I've got this really useful VU meter. So I can monitor the overall level going out of the Volca Mix, and I can adjust the volume here with this control. So just here we've got a control called wide, which actually takes a mono signals, for instance a mono Volca like this Volca keys going into a mono channel, and it uses a stereo expander effect to give you more width. So have a listen to what this sounds like. That's off at the moment, so I'm now going to turn it on and start introducing the effect. As you can hear, that's widening right out. To almost give you the illusion we've got a stereo channel now. So now I'm going to grab some sync cables and show you how you can use the Volca Mix as your master clock. So I've connected my sync cables in a daisy chain, so I've gone sync out of here, into my keys, out the keys, into the FM, out of the FM, into the sample, and that means that then this one, the Volca Mix, is acting as the master clock, and that's the tempo. But what's even cooler is that I can actually arm all of these Volcas ready to play and then start them all at the same time with this one control. So as soon as I press play, they'll all start together at this tempo. I can then change the tempo if I need to, and they'll all follow. And then when I'm ready to stop, I can just press play again and they'll all stop together. We've also got a dynamic compressor on board as well, and that allows you to do things like side chaining, which is that well-known effect where you take the low frequencies from something like a kick drum, which ducks down the higher frequencies from things like synths to create that pumping effect often heard in dance music. It sounds like this. So if I roll it off now, that's without it. this is bringing the dynamics up to create that pump. And then you can change the speed as well, which changes the attack. So I've brought in my NTS-1 Mark II, and the reason I've done that is because I want to show you the send effect capabilities of the Volca Mix. So this is an effects processor as well as a synth, so I can go send out of here into the NTS-1, back out into the auxiliary in, and the auxiliary in can also be used as an extra couple of channels if you want to connect other devices instead to the Volca Mix. So let's play back a sequence on our Volca keys, on channel 1, don't forget, and then we can use this send control to bring in the reverb. So you can hear that there. Let's turn it off again. Hear it dry. So no effect. Reverb effect. And of course, I can bring in some extra delays as well from my Volca keys if I want to. So there we go, that's your first 5 minutes on the Volca Mix.